Hi, and welcome to another episode of Baking a Habit, where we try to share more on common sense principles that are not very common, and habits are generally very difficult to form without the right kind of consistency. Overall, our channel tries to emphasize at a deeper level that with the right ingredients, effort, and consistency, the final baked products will always sell out and be a better product for both yourselves and others to consume. Your habits will generally determine your future, and your future is determined by habits such as health, wealth, success, and fitness. We are all very busy people, and we strive to keep our episodes short and sweet for you so that you get to go on with your life and live the best version of it after hopefully learning the lessons from these episodes. The podcast and episode is actually suitable for anyone with a keen interest in leading a well-lived life, and hopefully the contents here will be helpful for all of us as a guiding principle and a beacon of hope. It does not matter if you're a student, a working adult, or a retiree. The idea behind this channel is to advocate for better life principles in arriving at our final goals and aspirations. Some of you may not have experienced the examples shared here, whereas some of you may have already gone through these experiences. Nonetheless, the benefits of learning this firsthand or re-experiencing this again will nourish your soul at its core. Without further ado, I would like to start with the second episode of our Baking the Habit channel, where we cover on the prisoner's dilemma. As is customary, we will firstly share a quote. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. In this particular episode, I'll be covering on the prisoner's dilemma. The original meaning of the prisoner's dilemma is actually a game theory whereby there are two prisoners who were caught by the police. Both of them are accomplices, and they are sent to prison and interrogated separately. And the same offer is given to both of them by the same police officer. So generally, there are three options given to the prisoners separately. The first option being, if if you are found not guilty and if you testify against if you testify against your accomplice, you will get a 1 year in prison. But however, if both of you testify against each other, you would each get 2 years in prison. If one person testifies and the other person actually remains silent, the person who is guilty will be sentenced to 3 years in prison. So generally, based on this prisoner's dilemma, there are four potential outcomes. If party A and party B remain silent, they will both serve the shortest prison sentence, which is 1 year, because both of them are found not guilty. If A testifies against B and B remains silent, A would only have to serve 1 year in prison, whereas B would have to serve 3 years in prison. If A remains silent and B testifies against A will have to serve 3 years in prison and B will be set free. And if A and B testifies against each other, meaning both of them are found guilty, they will each serve 2 years in prison. So generally speaking, the key takeaway from this is that cooperation is the most beneficial for mankind, and the second most beneficial is to defect against one another, which that is the second best outcome. Of course, if one person cooperates and the other person actually defects, that will be the worst potential outcome. The second meaning of the prisoner's dilemma is generally shown as an image of a prisoner that is given a choice between taking the bread or the key. So generally speaking, in this image, you can actually see that the setting is of a prisoner that is located in a prison cell and is given the option between taking a bread or the key, and he can only select one of these options. In the real world, we can actually translate this scenario into two specific figurative meanings. The bread actually signifies immediate gratification. As a hungry prisoner, the bread actually satisfies your hunger. And for those who are seeking immediate gratification, they will generally go for the bread because that is their pressing need at that moment in time, and that is what they would like to fulfill as a desire at that point in time. But however, this also means that by seeking the bread and foregoing the key, you are actually foregoing your future goals, which is freedom. And because of that, some people in this world suffer because of their immediate gratification choices. For example, you do not save up enough money because you want to buy a sports car of your dreams. Whereas if you invested that money, you will be able to generate multiple times that amount, and you'll be better off in the future. So in contrast, the key is actually discipline and self-control, which also means that by taking charge of the key or choosing the key, you are choosing discipline and self-control. You suffer today with a bit of hunger in hopes of a better future, which is freedom. With freedom, you're able to do more stuff, whereas if you remain in prison, there is only so much you can do and with limited upside. So generally, this is the second meaning of the prisoner's dilemma. Both are indeed a dilemma, and we being the prisoner is because we are confined by a specific role in society today. For example, you're working in a job and you're taking a salary. So that is your confined space, and that is your prison. And the dilemma comes in the form of what should you do to break out of this to get out of this rut, to break out from this cage. So generally speaking, in terms of the takeaway message from these lessons, we can generally say that in the formative stages of a good habit, we need to start with discipline and self-control and not immediate gratification. Because generally, immediate gratification will only get you so far, whereas in the long term, with a good habit, with good discipline and self-control, you'll be able to achieve many times more. And that is what we are hoping to achieve in our version of the good life. I hope this episode is beneficial. That's it for episode 2. Till next time, goodbye. Thanks.